So we're just hearing them yelling stuff.
Oh gosh, that's crazy.
I had to like turn my audio down. Like, ooh,
Did you? Okay, I'm guessing it can hear us. Hey, those of you that are here, well, I guess it's
it
just.
looks like someone's muted. I see a mute button. Like
Well, our video is
right above the video. It looks like.
I'm wondering, can y'all, if you're with me, can you hear me on here? Let me see if
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great, perfect. All right, so now I'm gonna screen share so that you can see what we're doing. Perfect. All right, we are ready to go. All right, y'all. So we are going to be in our modules. So I've hidden the other things from you because as I've been working with students and answering these emails, people are getting so confused as to where to go, okay? The only thing that you need to click on to do your daily work is your modules. If you click on modules, you will see what you need to do, okay? So don't get confused with clicking on quizzes or assignments or whatever it is. You just need to click on modules. Once you're in modules, then I'm putting the dates, okay? So that it's very easy to see what we're doing on a specific date. So today is 9/1. We are going to be doing class notes and homework. Now, I sent out an announcement yesterday that said if you like for your notes to be printed out, then you need to do that before you come to class, okay? I know not everyone has a printer at home, and that's fine. You don't have to print them out, but if that's how you prefer to take notes, then you would want to have that print copy. Now, I did it in Google Google Assignments today. Yours will look a little bit different than mine. I'm in Teacher View right now. But somewhere you'll see a little file. If you click on that file, it's going to bring up your Algebra 2 review. You will click on that. And this is going to take you to the document, okay? Now, yesterday I messed it up. In second hour, I don't know how I shared it, but somebody answered it for everybody. And so that's why I'm doing it through Google Assignment, because it's going to make each of you your own copy. So once this loads, all right, if you have created, hey, good morning. Let me take your temperature. Perfect. Remind me of your name. Perfect. Is that where you sit? Okay, great. Did you go check in? Did you do what? Okay, I definitely marked you absent, so I will let them know that you are here. Scott. Okay. All right, back to this. If you have created or you have set up a Cami account, when you touch up here, or it may be different on your computer or your phone, but at somewhere, it will allow you to annotate with Cami, okay? Cami is it's just like a tool that allows you to type onto a piece of paper that you don't actually have in front of you, okay? Because that's a PDF document, so typically you can't write on PDF documents unless it's something like this and you open it up through Cami. Now, if you've never created a Cami account, you will have to do that. I shared a video on how to do that in yesterday's announcement. So go to yesterday's announcement, watch the short YouTube clip, and then it will show you how to set up your Cami account. Y'all, our internet is running so slow.
Maybe for that cheap cattle internet with every teacher using it.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. So like this is the document. It's a PDF, but once you get into Cami, you can add text box. You can write on it. Like let's say you're using an iPad and you have like a stylus or whatever, you could write on it directly like that. So like you could draw and you could work the math out, okay? And so you could do it that way. That's totally fine with me. If you're using a computer that doesn't have that, then you could just put a text box here. Now, the thing about that is that's going to be a little bit challenging is I'm still expecting you to show all of your steps. So for like this one, there's going to be division that's going to have to take place. So you're somehow going to have to show me that that's what you're doing. So that would be the challenge of using this with a text box, but you could do it. You could say, I'm going to divide by, where's my little divide by, who are we solving for? W, I'm going to divide by 9R. Then you'd have to like tab over. And then over here, I'm also dividing by 9R. Enter down, and then you could say, hey, I don't have it ready. No, ma'am. Thank you, though. Yeah.
Can't you just do this on like a separate sheet of paper?
Yes. Yes, you can. But I'm just giving you other options. Okay, so then W, and then you would say, whoops, got carried away. W equals whatever it is. So you can do it this way, okay? What we're not doing this year is, or what we're not supposed to be doing this year, is taking any kind of paper from students. They do not want you to give me a piece of paper. So there's no more going to be turning in your work. Everything has to be digital just because we can't pass things back and forth, okay? If you touch it, I'm not supposed to touch it. If I touch it, you're not supposed to touch it, okay? So that's why we have to figure out how to do things digitally. Now, Cami, I think, would be so awesome for like English class where you're writing paragraphs and stuff, super easy. But for math, it may not be what you want. But yesterday, I had a couple kids do it, and their work looked awesome. So I guess it just depends on what you're comfortable with and what you want to work with, okay? Now, like Charles said, if you don't want to do it this way, just get on a normal sheet of paper, write on your piece of paper. Number 1, show your work. Number 2, show your work. Number 3, show your work. You can take a picture of it with your cell phone. If you've downloaded the Canvas app onto your cell phone, it's very easy to upload those pictures, okay? So you would just open it up on your app, then you would go to the module, go to the day, open the assignment, and when you open the assignment, it's going to say add a file. So then you would click add a file, and it will let you go to your camera roll. Once you're in your camera roll, select the picture or pictures that you want to add those, and submit to me, okay? Any questions about that? I feel like an IT director, you guys, like everyone's emailing me, and it's not because they have math questions, it's because they don't know how to work the computer. And what's really bad is I don't either. So
Where's like the added file thing?
you got to click open the assignment.
Would that be our launch external tool?
Yeah, launch external tool. Let's see. Oh, you're going to have to link your account with Google. So you're going to have to sign in with that and link that account for that. Yeah. Yes, that's the issue. So that's another thing. I'm glad he showed me that. If you haven't linked up your Google with that, you will have to do that. Okay? All right. Email me. I'll do the best I can to answer your questions as soon as I can. Like right now, I have 12 emails sitting in there from students that I haven't been able to answer. I quit answering emails about 8 p.m. because I was like, I have to step away, like, or I'm going to just be consumed by school. So that's when I stopped last night. Yes, sir.
So on Thursday, you know, we were supposed to, you said we were supposed to get those problems or whatever.
Yes.
So
You know, your papers are right here, so probably not. I would guess that they're going to come tomorrow. You know, maybe I'll go ahead and send these over and see if that helps. Let me find out who these go to. Poor person that's zooming with us. Have any of these?
Yeah.
Did you send them somewhere?
I gave them to
Johnson. So if I send them to them now, do you think they're still probably not going to get them until Thursday?
I was just going to take them in, like, to all my friends.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, y'all are gonna, they'll get them to you on Thursday. All right, let's hop in and actually do some work. Okay, so this is gonna be just like if you did your work yesterday, this page is what you are going to do. What I'm gonna do with you now is just work some practice problems like you saw in that video. Okay. I feel like things are crazy. I hope that y'all don't feel that way. But for me, everything's just so different than what it used to be. So it's like every day I'm trying to figure things out. All right. Yeah, everything's just running so slow. It's just because we're not used to everyone using so much internet, you know? Like when I'm in my, if I don't have this, like if I'm not doing virtual, I never get on the internet, never. So this is definitely different. Like I just teach on my whiteboard over there. All right, okay, so the first thing in your lesson for today, yesterday we did expressions and we did equations. So that's what we talked about yesterday. If you haven't done that yet because of internet or because of whatever, you still need to be doing that. I'm being very lenient with all of our deadlines at this point because just so much has been going on. So many people have gone through different things. But eventually, you guys, we will go back to having our strict, you know, if it's due on this date, it's due on this date, or you lose points. But for now, we're just going to kind of be flexible, get it done as we can. Today's first topic is literal equations. All right, now you're welcome to take notes as I take notes. These are just things that are going to help you be able to solve your problems on your own. Yay! It's right there. Do you want me to give these to you now or do you want to wait? Okay. That's what I figured. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, y'all, literal equations is the first thing that we're going to be discussing. And on your document, it gives you a little bit of like a reminder. All of these things that we're going over are things that you potentially did back in Algebra 1. But for most of you, Algebra 1 was 2 years ago. You took geometry last year, and then now you're taking this. Now, there are a couple of you that might be doubling up, but for most of us, there's been a gap in learning, so that's why we're going back over this. So it says, remember that solving literal equations is like solving regular equations, except there are no numbers, there are no number answers. The answer with variables in them. So there's an answer that's going to be a variable. When we see this, it's basically like the area formula, okay? Everyone knows that the area formula is A equals length times width. Area equals length times width. Well, let's say a carpenter, he knows the area he has. He knows that he's got a plot that is, I don't know, 100 square feet. Yes, ma'am. Can you do what? You can, but I have to write that down because if she get, well, either way, yeah, you're fine. So like if the carpenter knows the area, he knows it's 100 square feet, okay? But he doesn't know what the width of his box is going to be, then he would have to work backwards. He would have to divide by the given length, okay? But what we're doing is we are basically going to be solving these equations to isolate a specific variable, whatever they're asking for. It says to start, think about this. How do I get the variable I am solving for alone? Okay, so let's look at our first example. And I'm going to number it number 11 just because it goes with number 11 on your work, okay? So let's just say I've got K plus J equals 2P. We've got 3 different variables. Can y'all see that? All right. And we are wanting to solve for J. Now, just like with yesterday's lesson, I'm going to draw equal street to split it up in my two sides, and I'm still going to be doing the opposite operation. So if you look on the side that J is on, who else is on that same side? K. And what's happening between K and J? They're adding. So how would we undo that? That's right. So J equals, can we combine 2P and K together? They are not like terms, not families. So that's 2P minus K. And that's it, you guys. So like it said in the instructions, you're not going to get just a single answer like 4 or 8. You're going to get an expression. You're just rearranging the expressions. Okay? All right, let's look at an example that goes with number 12. Let's do 4xy equals 16. Okay? And we are going to solve for x. Now, I'm drawing my equal street to split it up. Who is on the same side as x? 4 and y. So, how do I get rid of 4 and y? You got to divide because they're multiplying. If you look at that 4xy, everybody is squished together. 4 is right beside x, x is right beside y. There's no plus signs, there's no minus signs, there's no division signs, so it has to be multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So on both sides, I'm dividing by 4y because that's what I want to cancel out over there. Those cancel out and leave me with x. X equals, now we have to simplify. What's 16 divided by 4? 4, but what do we do with this y down here? There's not a y on the top, so what did you say? You're going to leave it down. So on top, it simplifies to give you 4, but you have to leave the y on the bottom. I know that looks weird, but there's nothing on the top to cancel it out, so you have to leave it down there. What you're basically doing, if that's confusing to you, is you're basically simplifying this. 4 goes into 16 4 times, 4 goes into 4 1 time. And so then you've got 4 on top and 1y on the bottom. We just don't write the 1 because it's understood. Okay, and so that is your answer. Again, you're not getting a single one number. You're getting an expression that you've used to isolate. Okay, number 13. We've got 2d minus 3f equals 9. 2d, oh, that is the problem. My bad, y'all. That's fine. This time we'll just solve for d. So that's going to be different than your problem because your problem that you're going to be doing is solving for f. Well, I'm going to show you how to solve for d. It doesn't matter. You can solve for whoever you want. You just have to do the opposite operation. So I'm drawing my equal street so I can split it up. Who is on the same side as d? The minus 3f. So how do we move minus 3f? We add it. Okay, that cancels out. I bring down 2d equals. Are 9 and 3f, are they like terms? No. So you leave them separate. Does it matter who you write first? No. So I'm just going to put 9 plus 3f. The last thing I need to do is get rid of the 2. Now, what's happening between 2 and d? They're multiplied, so what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. That cancels. D equals. 9 does not divide evenly by 2, so I'm going to leave it as 9 over 2. Plus 3 does not divide evenly by 2, so I'm leaving it as 3f over 2. And that is my answer.
I wrote the final answer as d equals 3 or 9 plus 3f over 2. Is that the same thing?
Like you wrote it like this, that's totally fine. Totally fine. Any other questions about that? Okay, so that's your literal equations. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is the exponential rules. Now, did your Algebra 1 teacher sing to you? If you had me, I think I did. I usually do. The little, when you multiply like bases, add exponents. When you multiply like bases, add exponents. This is probably harming them with my voice. But that's your rules, and you can see it on your paper if you're multiplying like variables. Like, so if you're multiplying the same base, you add the exponents, okay? If you're dividing like bases, you subtract the exponents. If you raise a power to a power, you multiply the exponents, and anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so those are our rules that we're going to be using. And then it also says make sure you're using PEMDAS. So if we are dealing with something that has x squared, y to the x to the, first of all, you have to determine who are your like terms, are your like bases. Your x's are alike and your y's are alike. So when we multiply the x's, when you multiply like bases, add exponents. So we've got our x's. What's with x? 2. This is multiply just 1. 3. So x to the third. Now you got what's 5? So you simplified that by using your rules. Now, if you raise a power to a power, what does that look like? We could have a second power, and we're raising that to the third power. So it's like you've already your power here, and then you've got another power right there that they're asking you to raise it to. So when you raise it to a power, you in that. If you divide, we got, let's do k. Look at J, we're in j to the second. So the rule for dividing is in this lime green. When you're dividing like that, you have to what? So our is our plus say is because they're more John. Your it's or the because we're going to to the fourth. Those normal this one is based two of the 3 topics. The last topic that we have to talk about today is FOIL. How many of you remember FOIL? You probably did. It's first, that's right, first, outer, inner, last. It tells you how to multiply a binomial times a binomial. Now, what's a binomial? A binomial is just like x plus 3. There are 2 terms written together. That makes it a binomial. If I'm multiplying that by another binomial, then I'm going to use FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. So x times 2x is first. I'm picking the first thing in this set of parentheses, and I'm multiplying it by the first thing in this set of parentheses. So what is x times 2x? That would be 2, because 2 times 1 is 2. What's the rule for multiplying like bases? You add the exponents. So this is to the first power, this is to the first power, so it's going to be x to the second power. When you multiply like bases, add exponents. So this is x to the first, that gives you x to the second. Okay, that's first. Now we're going to do outer. X is an outer location and -6 is an outer location. So what's x times -6? That's right, -6. X. There's no exponents to add together. There's no multiplication of coefficients. You're basically just combining those with multiplication. Then you have inner. 3 is inner and 2x is inner. So what is 3 times 2x?
6x.
That's right, 6x. All right, and then you have last. 3 is the last of this parentheses, and negative 6 is the last of that parentheses. So what is 3 times negative 6? Negative 18. Then you need to combine your like terms. Normally, your like terms will be right here beside each other, which those are. So if I have a negative 6x and a positive 6x, what's going to happen here? It's going to cancel out. So we're going to just have our 2x squared. We're not going to write anything for those x's. They cancel out, minus 18. That's your answer. Now, some teachers use a Punnett square. And I don't remember who I teach what to. So you may have seen this if you had me, the couple of you that had me, or whoever you had may have shown this to you. Basically, you're using the square like you see for a Punnett square, like in science class. And so on top, you put those two, x plus 4 on top. And on the side, you do x minus 6. Has anybody seen this before? This look familiar to you? Some teachers use it, and it's great. You're doing the same thing as FOIL. You're just using a graphic organizer is what it is. So to get inside the box, you multiply who's on the top. So the top of this one is x times the side is x. What's x times x? X squared, that's right. Because when you multiply like bases, you add exponents. Then on top of this one, we've got positive 4 times x. What's 4 times x? 4x. Down here in this box, you've got the negative 6 on the side, all the way up to the light blue x. So what's x times negative 6? And then the last box, you've got the negative 6 and the positive 4. What's negative 6 times positive 4? Negative 24. Then at this point, normally your like terms are in your diagonal. So you look at that diagonal and see, are those in the same family? Well, in this case, yes. They're in the x family. So what's 4x plus negative 6x? Negative 2x is what you're going to get for that. So then you take this first box here, which is x squared. You take the combination, which we got right here, which was negative 2, and then bring down the last box, which was negative 24. Now, I think that way is great. I think it works really well. I like for things to be organized and to be nice and neat, so I like this way. But you're doing the same thing. So if you're more comfortable with FOIL, go for it. If you like to do it with this box, that's fine. Okay, so that's what's on this page. This page is what you are going to be doing for homework, all of it. So you do 11 through 23 today. You have about 10, 13 minutes to work on it right now. So you can get on your Canvas account, go to your module, go to today's date, which is September the 1st, and then you can start that. You can use Cami if you prefer to use Cami, or you can use just a piece of paper and write on a piece of paper and take a picture of it.
Okay, so I can look at it, write down all that answers.
Sure. Show your work, not just your answers. Always show your work. I'll leave this up here for those of you that are wanting to use my copy. But if you've got yours on your smartphone or whatever, you can just copy it that way too. If you can't get into the Google assignment, remember you have to sync your Google account and you have to use your Cato account. Have to use your Cato email account. Y'all are going to have to you don't really get time to like get used to me and get over your fears of like having a new teacher. Y'all are going to have to just ask questions. You are not going to bother me. So if you get stuck on something technology wise, don't just try to figure it out yourself. Send me an email. Okay. I will get in touch with you as soon as I can. All right, I'm going to end this Zoom meeting. For those of the people that are
Is
Zooming.
due today.
It's due at the end of the night, yes. But you got a lot to do, so. All right.